Um, yeah, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Why don't you drop where you're tuning in from today? We have an international call from people all over the world, and that's the best part about this, amazing platform is that anywhere in the world people can do this, right? I'm going to drop where I'm from. um, snowy Canada, right? So just drop where you're from, Nigeria, Singapore, Canada, wherever you're from, drop that in the chat box. And yeah, so today, really, I wanted to get together and really give you guys some value in terms of social media. Right, because social media is such a powerful thing. Most people use it, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the whole nine yards. Welcome Canada, welcome Nigeria, and people around the world, right? And so really the whole point of this presentation is to really help you guys level up from a cold market point of view, right? Because a lot of us, we like to talk to our friends, we like to talk to our family, we like to talk to our coworkers, which is great. Don't get me wrong, because you already have that relationship, right? But what about if that cashier at your local, grocery store wants to get out of their job, or maybe one of your, I don't know, we for example, I just had renovations done to my house, right? And what about if um the contractor wanted to leave their job because they're working nonstop, right? You never know until you talk to the person, because here's the thing, you lose 100% of the battles that you don't take, right? What about if that person that you were afraid to talk to goes on someone else's team and becomes chairman, right? And I've seen that happen before. So don't be afraid to really talk to people. Don't be afraid to open your mouth, because every, you know, interaction is a potential prospect, is a potential person that goes chairman or chairwoman, right? Here's the thing with this. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Sure, at the beginning, it's going to seem like a lot of work. You're like, man, I just did 18 hours. I don't have anything to show for it. But I promise you, you stick and stay, you'll get your pay, right? The chairman 750, David Imunite, as an example, from Lagos, Nigeria, he's just a person who started and didn't quit, right? And so if you want those results, you just got to plug into the system, plug into the products, show people the products, right? And I'm actually going to get into that, of like how we can talk to people, how we can gain that confidence so that you can go out there, talk to strangers, right? Whether it's at a coffee shop, a grocery store, whatever it is, or using your social media, or a bit of both, right? So that's the whole point of today's presentation. So I'm going to start with the presentation itself. All right, great. Here we go. So social media training. Well, what do we got for you in store? Here we go. So as you can see, it's social media and marketing training. Okay. So what type of social media can we use? Okay. You want to, first of all, build your own brand. You want to know, you want people to know who you are, right? Would you join you? You got to ask yourself that. Would I join Share? Would I join TJ? Right? You got to build a brand where people know who you are and what you're about, right? Because if you're not posting, on your social media, or you're not talking to people, people aren't going to know what you're doing, right? And here's the thing, you do not have to talk about trading or crypto or NFTs every single post. In fact, I would encourage you not to do that, right? Because your lifestyle can talk the talk, right? You being able to give back to an orphanage can talk to talk, or giving it to a charity, right? I personally, sponsor a few kids from Rwanda, right? But that's because I've been able to do this through the profits that I made from the platform. And now I can show that, hey, my kid just turned 13 and I was able to get him X, Y, and Z, right? So use your Facebook, right? Add people daily, provide content, right? I encourage you guys to use a day to map out your week, right? A lot of us, some people use Sundays, whatever day works for you that you feel like you can be the most productive, right? Because productivity is going to get you to places that you didn't even imagine before, right? So, maybe make some flyers, maybe make some, use Canva, really. my fiance uses Canva, and we're going to actually drop some flyers to you guys in the group chat so you guys can use that, repost it, print off flyers, whatever you want to do, whatever you think is going to work for your community, right? Because just because it works for someone doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else, right? But just, know your audience is what I'm going to say to that, right? With Instagram, right? Add people with influence, right? Use people like Bob Proctor who were actually, you know, marketing and branded with, right? And add people from Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins is Instagram, because you now have that, you know, close trust and degree of separation, because now they're like, oh, this person follows Bob Proctor. And then you can actually leverage Bob and be like, hey, he's actually partnered with IM to do help with personal development, because personal development courses are not cheap, but it's actually included in your subscription, right? And that's something else that's a bonus for people, because you see, trading is 80% mindset and 20% skill, right? So we have to make sure that we're plugging in. So we have all these trainings throughout the week, and again, like Bob Proctor and Alex Morton, who do Instagram lives and stuff like that. And, I would encourage you guys to leverage that, right? Then there's Twitter, LinkedIn, and then TikTok, YouTube, and Snapchat, right? I have Snapchat here twice. Sorry about that. But yeah, use as much social media as possible, and even using WhatsApp, right? Like post a picture of trading or post a picture of your life. And that way people can see, oh, TJ, Sharina, Dumsy are all into trading. That's cool. And they can reach out to you, right? And in your pictures, just be natural, be yourself. Use pictures that express your lifestyle, if you're into cooking, whatever it is, but post consistently and daily, okay? And connect with people daily, okay? With Facebook, right? Again, add new people daily. If you want to run ads are, cheap as $5 a day, or you can do weekly, whatever you need to do, see what works and kind of do trial and error, right? You can do polls. Make sure you're liking and commenting on people's things, including pictures and posts, right? Whatever they're posting, maybe it's a brand new baby, right? Oh, congratulations, right? Because then your name gets out there. They're like, oh, this person's so nice. Let's add this person, right? Find mutual friends or groups to connect with people, because you can say like, hey, Sharina, I see you're friends with Bob. How do you know Bob? Oh, I was a high school friend of his. Oh, cool. I was in a softball team with him. You see, and like, then that's like your edification, right? Because the art of edification is super important as well, right? Because it builds trust, instead of, adding people to groups and then everyone's like, oh, who's this person, right? And again, picks that express your lifestyle and all that stuff. Join as many groups as you can, okay? Instagram, same thing, run ads, and then you can actually do stories. And I would encourage you guys, anytime you're on a call, especially a trading call, a marketing call, and there's tons of people, go to your Instagram app, right? And if you see right at the top, there's a plus button, okay? If you click that plus button, you can now see story, okay? So I'm just gonna pretend to do a story of everything here and whatnot. Just give me a second here, right? But basically, now you're doing a story of, you being on this call, and look at this. Now, I'm doing this story, blah, blah, blah. And then at the top, there's a smiley face looking right beside the 3 stars, right? So you'd actually click on that, and you can mention people on the team. There's the @ mention at the top. And then there's actually a poll right down here. I know it's a little hard to see. Sorry about that. Right? And there's a poll that you can see. Okay. And you just click on that poll. Want to join our team? And then usually there's a yes or no, right? So you could be like, heck yes, no. And even if people don't answer you, right? You can actually, see who's seen your stories. And I would encourage you guys to use Trello or Excel to kind of keep track of, who's looking at your stories, and reach out to them. And don't automatically be like, hey, I saw that you saw my story. Get to know them. Be like, hey, how was your work week? How's the family, right? Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. build those relationships, right? Search for new people via big things like sports and countries. Tag your mentors, right? For example, we have access to Max the Mentor, Mike Sotero, right? And educators. So when you're on calls, especially go live and whatnot, you know, tag them, because then people can go to their pages. They're like, oh my gosh, Max the Mentor has 17,000 followers. Mike is a crypto educator, right? And then also as a team, repost and tag each other, right? And during your profile section, right, put fun facts about yourself, right? That way people know, okay, Sharina's into trading. She's an investor. She's a Zed Run owner. If you guys look at mine, right, it says, Canadian, right? Zed Run and VV owner and stuff like that, because people are going to be like, what's Zed Run? What's VV? And they'll Google it, right? Or they'll go to Instagram, right? Make your Instagram public if you can. And, always have a single picture of yourself so that people aren't like, oh, who's the person on this Instagram? There's like 5 different people, right? And then use DCX Swipecoin and NFT Instagram pages to post and repost stories or posts, right? You can just repost the post, right? You don't have to do any other work. Twitter, tweet and retweet big things. So like things right now that are trending on the news, crypto, NFT, and do as many hashtags as possible in your tweets, okay? With LinkedIn, right? I'll actually show you this in a second, but basically you can put keywords like entrepreneur, marketing, recruiter, and you can actually change the locations of where you want to be. Okay. Again, do fun facts about yourself, because that'll draw people. The more information you have, the more you can do. And then on the flip side, right, you can actually use someone's profile to get to know them, right? So if I see that Dumsy is from London, Ontario, hey, cool. Like I'm from London, Ontario as well. What do you do for work? Which area of town do you live in? Because as you build that relationship, what else are you also doing? You're building trust, right? And when someone trusts you, they're more likely to follow you, right? And then word of mouth gets around. Hey, I just started this new project with this super cool guy named Dumsy. I trust him. I respect him. You guys should check it out, right? Then you're leveraging Dumsy as well. Okay. Again, you want to comment, like, and tag people who have a lot of followers, because here's the thing, when you tag people, especially in Let's Connect posts, okay, and this is something you can find in the search bar, right? If you're tagging these people, especially if they have a lot of followers, they're more likely going to tag you back, and then their people will also be able to see you, right? And when you first get to know and connect with someone, endorse them, even if it's 1 or 2 skills, and then ask them to endorse you back, because the more endorsements you have, it gives you leverage. People will see credibility and integrity. Again, posting good content. So it could be about the news. It could be like, hey, what are you up to this weekend? Something that's engaging, right? And then pics of your life. And then again, joining groups, right? Business groups, marketing groups, all that kind of stuff, right? And I know there's different forums in every country. I know in Nigeria, for example, there's Nairaland. Shout out to Sola who is checking that out as well. So for those of you in Nigeria, you guys should talk to Sola about that, right? Snapchat, doing snaps. You can run ads again here. With TikTok and YouTube videos, after you've posted a video, try and do as many hashtags as possible, so that, on the search engine optimization, Google search, if say you have NFTs or cryptos, you know, it's more likely that your, video or subscription page will show up. And it can be about various things. So you can have different categories like your lifestyle, your cooking, your trading, any NFTs that you're into, and e-commerce, right? So speaking of NFTs, I would encourage you guys to also use NFT and NFT verse on Instagram to really leverage that. And also use people like Gary Vee and any athletes, right? Steph Curry, a basketball player, Tom Brady, NFL player, Lionel Messi, soccer players, and you can kind of leverage them and say, hey, they're into NFTs, they're buying NFTs, and they're getting paid in crypto, right? Then there's other things. So really tailor it to the person. So if I know Dumsy's into NBA, I'm going to talk to him about the NBA Top Shot. If I know Sola's into horses, or more of the digital side of things, I'll refer him to Zedrun or OpenSea, right? And then everybody knows about Facebook, so you can really use the metaverse and people like Snoop Dogg and stuff like that. And then Vivi. So if I know, for example, shout out to my friend Mariano, who was able to flip a $300 statue into a lot of five figures. I'm not going to go into digits there, but with he's a huge Marvel and DC comic fan, right? So I would leverage Vivi. So really tailor it to the person that you're talking to. And then Axie Affinity is like Angry Birds and Street Fighter on steroids, right? But people can make money playing video games. So if you know someone's a gamer or was a gamer, you can leverage kind of that. So really tailor it as much as possible to the person, right? Marketing in person, okay? You want to use what we call form: family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. So for family, right? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Because if I know someone has kids, maybe I can say like, hey, if I showed you a way to spend more time with your kids or take them on a nice trip, would you take a look at information, right? Or let's just say with their occupation, what do they do? What's their salary? Are they working multiple jobs, right? And you could say like, hey, if I showed you a way where you can potentially quit your one job and make some money from home, would you be open to it, right? Or recreation, what do they like to do for fun? So for myself, I play softball and soccer in the summertime. Maybe you can be like, hey, if I showed you a way to make money for a new pair of cleats, would you be open to it, right? And then motivation, what motivates them? Is it money? Is it time freedom? Is it a new house? Because the more questions that you ask people, the more answers you're going to get, because it's all about solving as many problems as possible, right? So marketing 101 tips, market with intention, generate as many leads as possible and build that list on Trello and Excel, right? Social media leads, using your ads, your stories, and your polls to really, again, making that comprehensive list, okay? Going to high traffic areas like a coffee shop, trade, go on calls, look at NFTs in these high traffic areas. Because let's just say you're at a coffee shop. Let's just say Cher, Dumsy, and I are at a coffee shop and we're trading together, we're winning together, we get excited. People are going to be like, yo, what's going on over there? Right? Stuff like that. Or if you're traveling to a city, whether it's for a visit or visiting a friend, right? Google some high popular areas or top universities, top schools in that area that you're going to, and go to their library or something and check it out and whatnot, right? Again, it goes back to the massive list. The average person takes about 3 to 7 exposures, right? And the whole goal of this cold marketing is to turn your cold market into a warm market through relationships, right? And you can start locally, right? Nigeria, Canada, whatever it is, but gradually expand internationally, right? Join some clubs, church groups, or sports teams can really, really help you as well. Because imagine, for example, I play softball in the summertime. I have 20 people on my team, right? And that's a great way to get to know people. Like, let's just say I buy a new bat. Oh, yeah, I just paid for that with my crypto profits, whatever, right? Always find an opportunity to talk about, this platform, right? Because not only people learning trading, but, there's also marketing, there's also NFTs and e-commerce as well, right? And for those of creative people, you can make flyers, run ads and make business cards, right? Like we have some people on the team that have made business cards and flyers with a QR code, and people just scan it and it takes them right to people's Linktree or websites, right? And again, adding people daily on social media, right? The point of pain is like, what's going on with their life? How can you solve people's problems? The more problems you solve, the more you make, right? And the person who asks the most questions takes control, right? And always get their number, their social media, and even if they say no to you, right? Which is going to happen to you a lot, but no doesn't mean no forever. It just means no, not right now, unless they block you, of course, right? But you can show them the compensation plan, be like, hey, I understand, maybe right now is not the time, right? Or maybe you don't have the money, but you know, if you show them the comp plan, be like, hey, if you know a few people, let me know and you can actually get paid, right? 3 people get you paid 150 US dollars a month, right? And yeah, just like showing them live, right? Doing a live demo trade, um, go live, just showing them the back office really, and any NFT groups that you're in on Telegram. Okay. The 7 skills in 7 days is a huge one for me. And the reason why these skills are so important is because if you can master these skills one by one, it's going to really show um, on the back office, really. And you're going to get paid. So skill number one is just finding prospects, like making those lists and go through the alphabet A through Z, right? A, who's my accountant? Oh, I can talk to my accountant, Bob, right? Oh, the baking lady, right, named Cindy, or the candy store lady named Teresa, right? Let's reach out to those people. Skill number two is inviting prospect, right? Inviting them to a meeting, inviting them to a Zoom call or a presentation, right? Skill number three is like once you're comfortable and confident, you can start presenting this to people, right? Share your story. How did this help you, right? Because your testimony is the most powerful testimonies because stories sell, right? It pulls on people's heartstrings a little differently, right? Skill number four is following up with a prospect, right? Again, using your Trello and Excel and a traffic light system. So what do I mean by a traffic light system? Green, within 2 weeks, reach back out to Dumsy or share, right? Yellow, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And then red, I would be a month or more, right? Skill number five is helping your prospects become customers or distributors, okay? Number six is helping your new person get started. So we have a launch system, which a leader would help you do. And then skill number seven, which is the absolute most important skill, in my opinion, is promoting calls, promoting Zooms, and promoting live events. Because the more people you get to meetings, the more money you're going to make. Okay. Let me just repeat that self. The more people you get into meetings, the more money you're going to make. Okay. PS3 is basically a system that we have in place where the P stands for piquing interest. Hey, I just started a project. I'm involved in a platform where I'm learning multiple streams of income. Oh, tell me more about this, right? And always be in a rush, which I'll get into in a second, right? But like, then the S is sharing information. So that could be getting someone on a presentation or sharing a video. And we have lots of videos that we can, send to you to share with your guests. And then have a three-way chat, group chat on WhatsApp or Telegram with your leader, and always get them to confirm, hey, Dumsy, are you available tomorrow at 1 p.m.? Yeah, I am. Okay. And then you can share the video with them 30 minutes prior to getting on a call with them because they've already confirmed with you. Okay. The 4-step invite is probably one of the most important things, right? So number one, always be in a rush. Hey, I'm headed out. I'm about to start eating with my family. So that, you're not always being available, right? Number two is clearing their schedule, right? Set a date and time, give them two options. Hey, Dumsy, tomorrow at 8 p.m., are you available for a call? No, I'm not. What about the next day at 8 p.m., right? And then don't get off a call until they give you an answer one way or the other, okay? And then number three, give value, right? Tailored to the person. If I would you is probably the most important quote that you're going to have to remember. If I showed you a way to make money, for example, if someone's going for a house, right? For a down payment for a house or a new car, would you be open to it? And then you take it away. Like I said, it's super exclusive, private webinar with limited seats. If I could get you a spot on that, could you commit to it? Okay. And then the power of tap reading. So Mike Sotero, one of our mentors and a crypto educator and Chairman 25, has an audio called How To on Spotify and Apple Music. Highly recommend that one, right? And then there's two types of people, right? People who are in your business or not, right? And there's three answers that you're always going to get: a yes, a no, or a referral. Because like I said, average person takes about 3 to 7 exposures, right? Who do you know? When someone enrolls, taproot through their top 5, what we call their flat tire friends, who you would call if you're in an emergency and on the side of the road, right? And then we want to get people to score in 24. What does this mean? Score in 24 hours, demo or live results, and, someone committing to a call or signing up are all, types of situations here. Okay. And then mastering the close. So be confident, have posture and belief, right? Talk with confidence and energy. Energy attracts, right? And then get someone to believe in the system, believe in this dream, because then if you help people reach their goals, right? So for me, anyone who's on the team currently knows that your goals become my goals, right? And that's what you really want to help, because the more you can kind of strategize that way, it's like, hey, it's not about me, but it's about helping you get to where you need to go, right? And then again, have the three C's: certainty, confidence, and control, right? And then talk about the community, right? Because a lot of people stay for the culture, right? I've met some of my closest friends through this platform, and I've been able to go to some retreats and all that kind of stuff too, and always leverage, Bob Proctor and Alex Morton as well. Okay. Some things that 9 takeaways that Steve Max talked about yesterday. One of them was um, developing new skills, right? It takes time to practice the presentation. Okay. Number two, we want to accelerate the learning curve, right? Gather as much information. And then once you've learned it from Go Live, go teach it, because then you're going to practice it in whatever. Number three, turn your car into a mobile classroom, right? Through personal development. Number four is the 5 M's. More meetings mean more money. Number five, guard your mind against negativity. So that's where the personal development and the network comes into play. Number six, give positive feedback to people. Number seven, have a champion mindset. Go all in with this, right? Because treat this like a business and you're going to get business results. Okay. Number eight, people are going to say, oh, it's not the right time, but when is the right time? And then number nine is be a king and queen maker. Put people first, and events change lives. Okay. Finally, some marketing secrets: the art of promotion. Like I said, the more you can promote, the better. Paint a vision, right? I envision that there's going to be over 1,000 people in Nigeria by summertime, right? The art of outworking everyone else, because the more you put in, the more you get out of it, right? And always being consistent no matter what, right? No matter if it's winter, fall, summer, if you're having a bad day or a good day, just be consistent, right? And just picture this, how would you move as a chairman or a chairwoman, right? If you're making $10,000 a day, you'd move differently. Your lifestyle would be different, right? Have a vision board and have 30, 60, and 90-day goals, okay? Then you want to develop leaders around you and delegate, so it's not all on you. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, right? And then you want to create success stories. Run with leaders who are ready to run with you. And finally, let's just say you just had a call, right? You want to be able to leverage your holding tank. So for example, yesterday, we signed someone up, and you can hold them there for 10 days. And then if you have a call, right, be like, hey, actually, whoever signs up this week, I have 2 people that I can place on your team, and it gets you ranked up that much faster. We have giveaways and all that kind of stuff as well, right? And then, some key marketing books to look at: 7 Skills in 7 Days, On the Run by Austin Godsey, YouTube, How To by Mike Sotero, Building an Empire, and Chairman 100 Bootcamp, which we can all share with you in the group chats, right? And in closing, before I kind of show you some tips and end this call, is, prioritize time to trade, build, and post things, okay? And then use one day to make these posts and recycle, okay? Have a daily method of operation. So writing down things of like what you want to get done, any meetings and all that kind of stuff. Find a product or two and really master it, okay? Train with your team, exactly like what we're doing, right? Especially trading, the more results you can get for people, the better, okay? And always show up for calls that you're qualified for. So this is a call that you qualify for. There's marketing, there's trading calls that you're qualified for, and celebrate people. So for example, the other day we had a gentleman on from Nigeria, hit P150. I posted about him. He was all over the Telegram chats and stuff like that. And then promoting for calls and events. And then, like I said before, using these mutual connections to really, really get to know people. And I just want to show you guys a few things before we close. But basically, where are we? Okay. So, on LinkedIn as an example, right? I just want to show you guys how this works. But basically, you can really go and search, you know, recruiting Italy. Okay, you can kind of see here, recruitment Italy. Okay. And then all you have to do is basically go to people results and connect with people, right? Connect. Boom. And what you want to do also is just use people's profile to get to know them. Hey, Simone, I see you're recruiting manager for Sokol Brescia. How are things going? Right? Just slowly get to know people, right? And like I said, you can change your locations. You can just type in a location, Turkey, as an example, right? And then you just click there and it show results. And again, it takes you, okay, connect, blah, 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 right? And then going back to the whole notifications, right? Um, you can say congratulations to people, right? Because then people feel good about themselves, right? Or, people are mentioning you, right? So you click on that post and, you know, like, and just be like, thanks for the kind mention. Happy to connect. And you can do this the same way with Instagram and Facebook, just always liking and commenting on people's stuff, right? Like, look at this, like, let's connect. And that's the other thing too. You want to use as many hashtags as possible on all social media platforms. Okay. And yeah, just like liking people's things, simple things like great, right? And so on and so forth, right? Because the more you can comment on people's things or follow people, then your name's going to get floated around and whatnot, right? So basically, that's kind of like the long story short in terms of social media training.